Fashion month is in full swing, with London being the latest city to show off their collections for Fall 15. And in keeping with the quirky, slightly offbeat style that we've come to love from the Brits, their runways were inspired by all things retro. 60s and 70s patterns were everywhere in a kaleidoscope on the runways. Some collections definitely had a more modernized, updated feel, whereas other collections really they would have been right at home in Woodstock, with a lot of bohemia coming into the styling as well. Even, some psychedelic 70s elements like 3D flowers, groovy optic prints, and even some very bright patterned faux furs, very Studio 54. And speaking of faux fur, we saw a lot of colorful faux fur trim on jackets and coats. It's very obviously a fake man-made fiber, so you can have a lot of fun with it by adding, color to your winter wardrobe, but without offending anyone, because it is very obviously a fake variety. And where there is 70s fashion, there's always a little bit of fringing. So expect to see a lot of swinging textures, especially on skirts and jackets. We also saw quite a lot of dyed leather in trousers and in jackets and coats, all in these beautiful jewel tones, which is definitely going to be the on-trend color palette for next fall. Ruby will certainly make its way into your wardrobe. It's not the first time we've seen ruby and burgundy on a winter catwalk, but this season we saw it kind of interjected with these amazing lighter or darker contrast colors. It just makes it a little bit more fresh. Big florals, unapologetic florals really ruled the runway. Londoners have a knack for taking a very summery fabric and then making it like irreplaceable for winter. Then on the other side, on the more traditional side of the scale, we saw a lot of checks. Definitely picnic checks were the key choice of the Londoners, but we know we're going to see a big spectrum of checks, as Fashion Month wraps up. Patchwork, something new, or should we say borrowed, this combination of mixing different colors, different prints, even different textures for a fabric of itself. It really kind of throws back to that 70s craft, where clothing was a lot more bespoke and a lot more customized. And if you don't believe me on the craft thing being big for 2015, just take a look at the Burberry collection. There was tasseling, there was suede, there was embroidered tapestries, it was bohemia galore. Hipsters, I'm sorry, but craft is going mainstream this year. But just to keep us in check, because it is 2015 and not 1975 after all, the Londoners gave us a little bit of luxe for winter by really spoiling us with a spectrum of silks, jacquards, beautiful brocades, just showing that bohemia is best with a little touch of glam. So there's my trend report for London Fashion Week. Tune in again next week for the Milan report. You know that the Italians are going to step it up and bring the sexy back. I'll see you then.